Guys, I love Green Lantern, and Green Lanterns are just awesome. Why do I love them? Because I just said it. Because they're just freaking awesome. That's one of the most coolest and versatile abilities to literally use your imagination as a weapon to make energy constructs of light, to be able to make actual functional weapons out of light, not just the way they look, like actually being able to make a microscope and it actually function like a microscope, or actually making a flamethrower and actually making it function like a flamethrower, and creating a breathing device or oxygen tank and it actually function like an oxygen tank. That's the type of stuff I love about Green Lanterns. That's what makes them very versatile. And when you think of the powerhouse Green Lanterns, you think of characters like Kyle Rayner. He's considered one of the top tier Green Lanterns, along with John Stewart, Hal Jordan. I would consider him the top three. I already have a video about John Stewart on my channel, so make sure you check that out. Appreciate the support on that. But Green Lantern's portrayal on live action hasn't been the best. The movie had its moments. I'm not gonna lie that I did enjoy in the Green Lantern live action movie, but it needs better budget and it does need to be in space centric. It doesn't need to be in like on Earth doing Earth stuff. Green Lanterns don't need to do Earth stuff unless they're doing Justice League stuff. That's the only time I will be okay with that. But with that being said, there's some of the fastest characters in the universe. Kyle Rayner is one of my favorites because of the fact that he's like an artist and he's literally similar to me when it comes. I might not be a drawer, but I have artistic tendencies. For me, you know, I edit myself. I create like fan versions of myself to make myself look like a fictional character, like you see on the screen right here. Me look like the Hulk with like a coat on, you know, that type of thing. I respect that artist creativity type of mindset. It's been a while since I've done like any Lantern stuff. I did LaFreeze and I did freaking John Stewart video. I think I want to do one about Kyle Rayner. Let's analyze how strong Kyle Rayner is. Green Lanterns in general are very strong, and I think I kind of consider them underrated because media portrays them to be like these little side characters. Like you see him in Justice League Unlimited. Like Green Lantern got his butt beat like over and over again in that show, which kind of annoyed me. John Stewart got his butt beat in that animated show a lot, and then like Superman would come. You know, people just bust through their shields and stuff. People, oh, they're nothing. And people just bust through their constructs. And then in the new movie, Justice League War, you know, Hal Jordan got destroyed by Darkseid with ease while other characters could give him a better fight than that. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff media doesn't do the best job in portraying them. But hopefully by the time the end of this video ends, you will get some respect for Green Lanterns in general and just Kyle Rayner too. So let's get it. Before I get into his raw attack power, like I always do in my video, etc. in this video, I think I want to go over his versatility right fast. Naturally, something you should know about Green Lanterns, it can translate like pretty much any language because it has like all the language database in the ring. Whatever the ring knows, he knows when it comes to languages. Let's be honest, if you're supposed to be the protector of the universe and you don't know other languages other than English, that would be kind of an inconvenience, right? So yeah, that makes sense. He even knows ancient Atlantean languages as well. The dude literally created an actual computer, a working functional computer at that. No, he really be making like technological stuff that functions. It's not just, oh, it's not just the way it looks. It actually functions. Like I said a couple seconds ago. He even made a live video call to Watchtower with this. He creates an air dryer, funny. He can create large mechs, duh. He can go intangible, all that good stuff. But yeah, let me just get right into the nitty gritty. I think I'm gonna start off with some speed and some reaction speed. Naturally, being a Green Lantern, he should be this fast, massively fast and light speed at least. He was able to grab a photon, like light speed confirmed, right? He's able to tag speedsters like Jay Garrett, show his levels of speed, look at the constructs he makes. I love his artist nature. He even blocks a blast of light, tags Impulse, another speedster, debatably one of the fastest speedsters in the universe. Naturally, he has movement speed, massively fast and light travel speed. He can also help others travel as well. He can do this thing which you would call galaxy hopping, like jumping from one galaxy to the next. This is absolutely absurdity. Like, look at this. You see the distance? Look at the way the galaxy looks. It's just, he just zoomed to it that quick. That massively fast and light speeds, duh, right? More proof to be faster than light is that the time he actually escaped a black hole, which you need to be the speed of light to do. So light speed, again, duh. I know I keep saying duh. I'm gonna stop saying duh now. He travels from Earth to Oa in a few minutes, which is evidently at the center of the universe. Nowhere in the universe is too far away from a Green Lantern, that type of speed. He's even fast enough to fly hundreds of sectors away. Nothing out of the ordinary for Green Lanterns of this caliber, especially since he's considered one of the top tier Green Lanterns. You guys know how much I love lore and writer intent. Well, tell me why he does have some writer intent. What writer intent am I talking about, you ask? There was this prophecy based on the Dream of the Endless. It was a prophecy that Kyle Rayner will actually surpass one of the legendary Green Lanterns known as Hal Jordan. You probably know him as to be the Green Lantern, right? So they try to say Kyle Rayner is going to do that. So, oh shoot. It states here, you will surpass him. You already know what he can never learn. Hal Jordan was the best. Everybody knows that. Everybody keeps telling me that. No matter what I do, what could I possibly know that he didn't know? Fear, you will surpass him. Interesting thought right here. Interesting segment in lore behind Kyle Rayner's power. Well, even if you don't want to take this absolutely Bible, that automatically puts him up there with Hal Jordan, at least comparable, right? There's even more lore for him in the 31st century, you know, but past his time. He's considered as one of the greatest artists in Green Lantern. Everybody knows about the spectrum they are in. It's like the aspect of will, which powers them, whatever the higher their will is, which is very vague. How do you measure will? So I got some lore for you about his will. One of the most insane feats of all time for his willpower is that he was able to undo the anti-life equation on himself with his sheer will. You know, anti-life equation, the thing that can literally control you like zombies, like an actual zombie. He has plenty of willpower feats like being able to resist telepathic control, mind control, and that type of thing. There was even a Yellow Lantern that has mind ability that calls Kyle Rayner's abilities unsettling. States here. Probably going to mention Parallax a lot in Green Lantern videos. That dude is kind of a problem. He was in the Green Lantern movie, but he was like a toned down version. But yeah, he was able to resist Parallax control even when other Green Lanterns couldn't do it, or they struggled to do it, like even the characters like Hal Jordan himself. His willpower is so insane. I didn't even know you can do this. When it was broken, his will was able to reconstruct it from the pieces. What? Guys, I love battle feats and lore, and when it comes to battle feats, writing intent, it's heavily implications that he's definitely up there with the powerhouses of DC, considering how many times he's hurting major characters of DC or done major damage to them. Beings that have black hole level durability, he can harm these beings with his attacks, no matter if it's a punch, no matter if it's a construct blast, or if it's energy blast, or any type of way, or piercing. You know what I mean? You'll see. Time for the shower. He's able to actually harm with his attacks characters like Major Force, battle characters like Major Force, a being that fights Captain Atom. I even have a video about Captain Atom, so you might want to check that out as well. Debatably a universal feat. I don't even know like how do you scale this, but he was able to evidently cause pain to 0 Hour or Parallax Hal Jordan. This is kind of ridiculous. Okay, events of 0 Hour, he was so powerful, you know, Parallax Hal Jordan, he had this type of power where he can cause similar destruction to like the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. Okay, forget what I said about Universal. That's like on some multiversal type stuff. Somehow Kyle Rayner was able to hurt him. How though? Look, he was able to do this too. Absorb the energies with the clash of the anti-mind. See, okay. Kyle, how did you do this? Parallax be corrupting people and amping them to unknown levels of power. He's fought every being you can think of, took blows from characters like Wonder Woman, and even can hurt characters like Wonder Woman, even have her gasping pain with his construct attacks. So yeah, he's on that level. He has multiple occasions of him fighting Major Force, hurting Major Force, like Captain Atom person. Again, flies very far. And again, yeah, it's consistent, guys. His attacks really do hurt Wonder Woman, for those that are curious. He's comparable and can hurt characters to like Sinestro, like characters that fight Hal all the time. Okay, I'm tired of doing Major Force like this, but goodness gracious, how many times is he going to beat him down? I mean, look at his facial expression right here, Major Force. Take this with a grain of salt. He was able to do significant damage to this being they supposedly, quote unquote, say to be more powerful than Superman. They say. It states here, there are stars with less power than that blast. But pretty much showing he's at least in the star ranges. That just kind of concretes that. It says, forget Superman. There's nothing like Trader this side of Apocalypse. This is light work. Doing stuff like tearing through a whole bunch of manhunters. Gots to freaking love it. He's gotten slugfest with a lot of the major named Green Lanterns, like even Alan Scott, mind-controlled Flash. He can take hits from super powerhouses like Mongol, slugfest with characters like Mongol. One thing you gotta respect out of Kyle Rayner is that the fact he was able to not die from a blast from a monitor. You know, the anti-monitor has other monitors like Nyx, Uton, and Marnovu, and Mobius, the different monitors. He didn't die from a blast from them. That's pretty impressive, I would say, right? It's happened on more than one occasion. Yeah, he's not on the levels of monitors or nothing, but it's just the fact that he didn't die from a blast from one. Green Lanterns have this thing called an auto shield, so you're probably thinking if they don't put shields up, they're not going to be durable. And that's not the case. He was able to endure attacks that hurt characters that are Superman confirmed level, like Captain Marvel. At the time, his name was Captain Marvel. We know him now as Shazam. He can even endure hellfire from this being known as Neron. Let me go to his speed again to really show him compared to other characters. He was able to stay ahead of characters like Donna Troy when it comes to speed. Look at him, this motorcycle he made. I love his artist nature. More occasion of his speed, he was able to catch up to the speed of 0 Hour. What the heck? 0 Hour Hal Jordan, despite him having a significant head start. More implications of his massively fast and light speeds. He can keep up with characters like the Flash. Not saying he's like on Flash's level of speed, but just letting you know that he's got speedster-like speeds. You know what I mean? He's evidently faster than Black Lantern rings. Look at this shot. I love this shot. More occasion of him moving massively fast and light. Fast and light speed. It's even implied he can match the speed of super powerful speedster like characters like the man, the myth, the legend himself, Superman himself. In this occasion, flying out the solar system and stuff like that. They're both massively fast and light, right? Green Lantern is nothing without his ring. All I got to do is just steal his ring. Actually, no, it's tied to his genetic code. It don't work like that. You can't just take it off and be like, oh, it's mine and I'm going to steal it and it's mine now. Nope, it doesn't work like that. Stated here in the lore, the ring can only be used by him, and it can be used to communicate with other rings. It can even erase files off a computer. Goodness gracious. All the stuff these rings can do. Look at the circuitry over there. It can like create little wires and stuff, like functional stuff. Crossover fun madness. He can even charge his ring using the cosmic cube. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop using crossover stuff. By the way, the ring can tell if you're lying. And by the way, he can actually soundproof rooms if he has to interrogate. More implications of him being in the powerhouse level. He was able to kind of give Superman some trouble here. The restraining power made like a construct bulldozer. Superman was mentally compromised here though, you know. To really prove his helping aid, this is a famous feat you always see in DC. He was one of the people that aided in moving the moon, along with powerhouses like Wonder Woman and Superman, showing that he's a beast and he's not just dead weight, or he wouldn't even be involved in this, right? If he wouldn't be able to hold his own, what would be the point of him being there if he was doing none of the work? He is obviously doing some of the work. He was even able to hold the GLA watchtower in place. More proof that he can hurt Superman level beings. He made this mouse construct that can actually hurt characters like Superman. Same with a dog construct. Was able to hurt Superman with his attack power. Oh, I'm not saying he's on Monarch's level, but he was able to do this to Monarch. Scarf of the level being. Oh, by the way, he has actually fought top tier Green Lanterns like John Stewart, like hurting him in this occasion with this giant green mech. I love when they make these mechs. Did I mention he was actually able to knock out powerhouse characters like Mongo? Something you probably would never see in media portrayal. Media don't portray Green Lanterns this strong, but he can do this. All right, we're getting into some of the higher end feats. You know, Ultraman, alternate version of Superman, and Superwoman. Tell me why he was able to kind of one-shot these beings like that. Just knock her away. Okay, when he was mind controlled, he did like this large area of effect attack. He was fighting the League, fighting multiple Leaguers and harming multiple Leaguers. Takes out a chunk of them. Pretty impressive, right? He was able to take out this being that other Titans were struggling with, like Impulse. One of his best battle features of all time, when he was fighting this android that had the powers of all the Leaguers, he was able to take out a Mazo. Probably one of the most insane feats of all time. He created like his own Justice League. Like, what? This is absolutely beautiful to watch. He can restrain powerful beings like Aquaman, even by underwater. Aquaman was able to break out. It was only temporary though. Aquaman's a beast underwater, don't ask. When you have this level of attack power, I'm surprised you don't see more Green Lanterns use more piercing weapons. Their piercing weapons seem like that would be the go-to if you're trying to murk these villains, you know what I mean? For example, his piercing constructs can actually pierce characters like Major Force, yet again fighting Major Force. Cuts Major Force, hits Major Force, traps Major Force. Kyle Rayner would totally be the Green Lantern I use my constructs like fighting this monster that Justice League was struggling with and piercing it multiple times. Kyle is insane. How about the fact he was able to keep the entire crime syndicate restrained for hours with this giant construct like that? Ultraman trying to break out over and over again. That's absolutely ludicrous. Even Sinestro's constructs break against his shields. This is funny. He made a shield with GL on it. That's funny. He states here, how did you repel my yellow? Ridiculous power. He's able to block multiple Green Lanterns. Naturally, right? He can make shields that block nuclear explosions. Contain a nuclear explosion, right? Raw power. Nothing big deal. He was able to contain star-destroying stuff. States here, the universe entered a perpetual state of decay, what we call entropy. Black holes are the examples of that. They're what happened to stars after they die. It states here, I know this is exaggerated. He said trying to hold back the Big Bang. You guys probably seen me bring this up in other videos of Green Lanterns, but yeah, he was able to contain a star with his power, proving that he has to be in the solar system ranges. And based on the people he fights, he has to be in the multi-solar system ranges, if I'm being real. It just gets ridiculous, and it's cool to see Kyle Rayner do this, but this is still not his top high-end feat when it comes to raw power and etc. when it comes to containment. Okay, this is crazy. Remember the abstract being known as Imperiex? He was able to take an explosion from Imperiex, who has multiple galaxies worth of energy stored up inside of him. Kyle Rayner, how was you able to do this again? Imperiex is kind of a problem. Okay, this being known as Imperiex is kind of an issue. Just to give you an understanding on why this is impressive, he's able to even do this and makes some even believe he shouldn't be able to do this. Remember that Imperiex is the same being that was able to do this to Doomsday. It was later confirmed that Doomsday did actually die for real. Back to Kyle Rayner. I don't want to get the wrong idea. Like, I do not scare him to Imperiex, but it's just impressive that he was able to do that to Imperiex. He has gotten overwhelmed by Imperiex before, if we're being honest. Don't forget that he can split atoms with his ring. Okay, this is strange, but can he duplicate kryptonite for real? He states here, I'm not even sure if this will work. That's how you know. Let's not forget he can create spaceships that are massively larger than the Earth. Hey, let me create a scooper so I can like scoop up a part of a city. Like he did this. It's awesomeness. Creating city-sized constructs on the regular so we can sit stuff down. Dude, this dude is awesome. He created a video game console. So there was a time he was fighting his doppelganger. Fun fact, he was able to create a construct. He was able to escape a construct from his doppelganger by creating a exit door. This is goofy, bruh. No, seriously, he is really creative with his constructs. He created this giant Thor construct one time in a battle. A dragon that actually breathes fire. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm getting into the mythological stuff. Don't judge me. Creates Godzilla. This dude is an artist for real. An army of demons just to fight some freaking angels. The awesomeness. Literally created a tornado. This has got to be the most creative constructs I've ever seen. He created a skyscraper-sized being with a sword. Awesomeness. Creates a giant sewer shark. Yeah, I know I'm just having fun showing his different creations at this point. You got the idea of his power, right? We know he's got to be close to the Superman Rangers, right? He's able to create giant claws that hurt Mongol. Oh, more battle feats. He created this cool, awesome looking mech. Beautifulness, right? Creates this Voltron style lion robot, like just like a Zoid. Talk about ultimate defense. He just covered himself in spikes. Oh, it's no surprise he can just create guns, lots of guns out of nothing. Oh, by the way, his bullets aren't just no normal bullets. Like, I think the thing that impressed me a lot is that these Green Lanterns can create stuff and it actually functions like the actual thing rather than just being green energy. Like, he can literally kind of generate any element he wants to by creating like literally an electric chair, and it actually has electricity. Creates a water cannon, a flamethrower that actually generates actual flame. Can create an actual freeze gun that actually freezes. Creates an actual adhesive that like holds Donna Troy. Crossover comic! Iron Man and Kyle Rayner work together. More than one occasion of him being able to generate electricity. I already showed this, but you know, him being able to hurt Wonder Woman with this machine, being able to generate electricity. Just gotta love it. The fact that it takes a lot of effort for characters like Black Adam to break out of his constructs just shows how the level of power he's at. But there was a time he made like a suit of armor where Parallax Hal Jordan's constructs broke on. Dude, how is he able to be fighting Parallax like this, dude? But guys, that's just about going to do it. Kyle Rayner has some of the most coolest looking construct creations thanks to him being an artist. And he's just very creative. He's kind of like me when it comes to the artistic tendencies of his ring. He really portrays his ring the right way. I love the way he shows his ring off. But what do you guys think of this feat run? Did you guys enjoy it? Of course, I can't go over every little thing. I try to go over the major stuff, his attack power, speed, people he can hurt, the people he scales to, the people he should be around in power. I think it's pretty evident that he's got to be close to the Wonder Woman Rangers. If Wonder Woman is 100 out of 100, then he has to be a 98 or a 90. Like, it's very close, especially with all those feats with Imperiex. He was able to contain a supernova explosion. He was able to contain galaxies worth of energy stored inside of Imperiex. Let that be heard again. Able to contain galaxies worth of explosions inside of Imperiex. Of energy, galaxies worth of energy. Like, okay, he's able to galaxy hop massively fast in light speeds. He's able to attack speeds on a consistent basis. He's a Green Lantern. He should be able to be that fast, and he can travel to Oa in a very short amount of time because that's at the center of the universe. Green Lanterns just have that type of speed. I try to show off a lot of his cool construct creations, the fun construct creations, literally be able to create constructs that actually function like the actual stuff. That's the part that's really impressive about Green Lanterns, because you would think it would only function like green energy, but like if he creates a flamethrower, it actually works as a flamethrower. He creates a freeze gun, it actually works like a freeze gun, and so on and so on. It's like, wow, they actually work the right way. Based on all this stuff I've shown, I do believe he can definitely blast away multiple solar systems, if I'm being honest. I mean, just think about the fact he made a construct that Ultraman couldn't really break out of. Like, he was doing it for hours. Like, he made a construct that big around a moon-sized construct, and characters like that are at Superman level had a tough time breaking out of it. I mean, there's even times where Kyle Rayner debatably has universal feats, like the feats with Parallax. Like, that's absolutely crazy. I guess one could theorize that Green Lanterns have limitless potential because will is a vague thing. It's kind of like anger. The Hulk, when his anger, he can get stronger with his anger increases. I guess when willpower increases, Green Lanterns can kind of jump tiers in their base states. I can say I didn't go over other forms for Kyle Rayner purposely, like White Lantern. Might do it in the future if this video does it well, but it has to do well for me to even want to do those, or I want to do it, especially with all the projects I got lined up. But what do you guys think? Did you guys know Kyle Rayner was this strong? What do you think about his universal feats? Do you think they're legit? Do you think they're BS? Do you think they're outliers? What do you think? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Isn't that impressive how all them different occasions him giving trouble to Parallax Hal Jordan? I think that's really impressive. He's definitely one of the top 3 Green Lanterns for a reason, with Hal Jordan and John Stewart. And it's not for nothing. Like, he legit deserves to be in those ranks. And he's ridiculously powerful in his own right. Make sure you respect Kyle Rayner. Gotta respect the artist type of people. I'll see you guys next time.